Hi, ladies. So tonight's team meeting is going to be about vendor events and booths. I apparently have been dubbed one of the booth queens. Honestly, I think it's a title that's not really deserved. I just happen to do a lot of booths because I like them. So I'm going to go ahead and share all of my tips and tricks on what I do, and Jamie's on the call as well. Like I was just telling her earlier, she's kind of my partner in crime when it comes to booths, so if she has anything to add, she's going to jump on in on it as well. So let's just start off from basically the beginning. So a lot of the questions, the common questions that I get are I want to do booths. How do I find them? Where do I find them? How do I get them? What kind of booth should I look for? Honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, there is no specific booth that you should or shouldn't be looking for. Think outside the box. I have done everything from a bridal fair, which you would think is a common thing, to church events, to MOPS events. We did the Black Hills Powwow. That was one that was actually kind of outside the box. For those of you that don't know what the Black Hills Powwow is, it is we live in the Black Hills, which is full of Native Americans, and every year they have basically a big celebration where they go out and dance. They wear their Native costumes, and it is just it's absolutely spectacular and phenomenal. That was actually one of our biggest booths to date, and I've been in Younique for about a year now. So it just kind of goes to show you that think outside the box. Anywhere where you can basically set up a table, put down your product, I would consider a booth event. I've even set up on the side of the road before. Now, we had a couple of vendors with us, but yes, I've even set up on the side of the road before and gotten sales off of that. So anywhere that you can think of counts as a vendor event. Ask your church, ask any that you may know. Have you heard of any events? Do you know of any events? Facebook groups, just type in like I live in South Dakota, so I type in South Dakota vendor events, and 4 or 5 groups will pop up. Join yourself to those groups. There's sometimes posts in there. I'm trying to think where else. Chamber of Commerce's. I've called the Chamber of Commerce here locally and asked, hey, what events do you have? That's another place that you can find events. Word of mouth is huge. Once you start to get into the vendor event and booth scene, start talking to the other vendors. That's actually going to be your key for finding other events. Basically, become friends with the other vendors that are there. It's one of those, you scratch their backs, they're going to scratch your back. There have been many vendor events where we've literally sat down, myself and maybe somebody who's sitting next to me, with our calendars, and we said, okay, what events do you have? What events do you have? And we've literally swapped contacts and swapped events. That's what keeps my calendar full with vendor events. So the next question always becomes then, okay, I've got my vendor event. How many mascaras? This is where it gets kind of tricky. It depends on what event you're at. If you're just set up on the side of the road, I wouldn't recommend having 40 mascaras. That would not be a good idea. 5 mascaras would probably be fine for that. Most church events, 10 mascaras. Anywhere between 8 and 10 mascaras would be where I would normally put you as a safe bet. If you're doing a bigger event, there's a couple of options there. Either you can go up in mascaras, so you order more mascaras. So as an example, for the bridal fair, I believe I ordered 20 mascaras. For the powwow, I believe we ordered 20 mascaras. Or you can actually team up with a fellow teammate, and you can split the cost of mascaras. So, like I said, Jamie has actually done multiple vendor events with me. For the bridal event, we actually had myself, her, and then another teammate, Kathy, and we each brought 20 mascaras, I believe, to the event. So you don't have to always fork out hundreds of mascaras for big events. That also helps in splitting the cost in events as well. Some booths run anywhere from free to $10. The most expensive booth that I've done, I think we've done about 750. Does that sound about right, Jamie? I think 750 was our most expensive event. Maybe 500.
550.
Was it $5.50? That would be the
Yep.
bridal fair.
Yep.
That was about $5.50. That was our most expensive, but you're going to get a lot of traffic through there. So it all depends on you, what you want to do. I don't recommend just jumping into a big event for $500. Start small. Start about the $10, $30 ones. The next question that I always get then is, what else should I get besides mascaras? Now, when it comes to that, this is actually going to be really up to you. The safe bets for me personally, black eyeliners, and now lip stains. I always right now try to keep at least one of every lip stain on hand, and I at least try to keep bare minimum 4 black eyeliners. You want to throw in a couple browns, that's your choice. But you don't need a huge inventory to do booths at all. You can always take orders for this. So then the next one is, okay, got my stuff ordered, got the booth. Now what am I going to do for the setups? Miss Holly Brown!
I'm so sorry. We just got back from stuff, so keep going.
Oh, you're okay. So you got the booth. You know how many mascaras. You got the order set in. Oh, when it comes to ordering mascaras as well, never order any later than at least 7 days out from your booth. And even that's kind of pushing it. You're going to want probably around, I would say, 9 to 8 days. Make sure that order's in case there's any flub-ups with the mail. Snowstorms, wacky things happen. Sometimes things just get dropped. So make sure that you order in time as well. You don't want to be the vendor events tomorrow and I don't have any product because it's in the mail. So make sure that you order enough as well. All right, so setup. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen on this one. I actually took some pictures of some various booths that we have done. All right. You guys can see that picture, right?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so this was actually at the South Dakota Childhood Convention that we did 3 or 4 weeks ago. The reason I'm showing this picture, this does look like a complicated setup. We do have a couple of computers that we do use. You don't have to. We have a monitor that sits below the table. A laptop will work, an iPad will work. But one of the key things that I wanted to point out on this is, do you notice what we're using for risers? Everybody, like, you know, sees our setup when I post it on Facebook, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, your booths are just so beautiful, and how do you have so much money, or how do you set those up?" Okay, little secrets out. We use Tupperware, shoe boxes, and Younique boxes. We are very, very cheap when it comes to setups. Our pictures were printed off for, I think, about 20 cents a piece. Our frames for our pictures are maybe $1.50 at Walmart. And that's, I mean, so our setup is literally nothing. Those computers are actually the most expensive thing there. The silver frame. Yeah, the silver frame is a little more expensive. I did want something a little more flashy for the color chart. But I'm not kidding you. I mean, it's something very simple. We do have skirts on the tables here. I will tell you that this was at a hotel. The hotel provided the skirts. You'll see in another picture we have a little bit cheaper. But the tablecloths were even, I think they were $10 at Walmart. It's just a cheap tablecloth that we use. Let's see. So we're going to hit to the next picture here. This was the final setup at the booth. As you can tell, we threw a piece of fabric over it so you cannot see it, shoe boxes. I think the fabric, what was it, like $10, $12 or something like that? Jamie, do you remember? I think you got that.
That was a really long piece of fabric. That one, I think it was like $19.
Okay. I have another piece of fabric that I think I got for $5, and it just sits on a little 8-foot table. So, like I said, we run very cheap booths, as cheap as we can possibly get. I have off to the left there's even a little pink box that we put the comment cards in, or the contact cards. On sale at Hobby Lobby for 99 cents. So don't feel like you have to go out to the store and just dump a ton of money into these booths. The most money that you should actually be spending on the booths is the product on hand itself. So this is actually from this weekend. The reason I'm showing you this picture is if you look in the tub, we literally come in with just tubs. And it's just tubs of stuff, and we just kind of all throw it together. This is our final setup for this weekend. Jimmy and I are currently doing a 4-day booth over at a consignment sale for children's clothes. This is our final setup. We kind of adjust to the size that we're given for the booth. So as an example, we don't have our vertical banner up here because we didn't have any room for it. Or sorry, our horizontal one because we didn't have enough room for it, but we were able to put our vertical banner up. Again, you can see on here, nothing is really expensive on here. We have a little bit different tablecloths. They just kind of go over the legs, so it just looks a little cleaner. But those weren't very much either. Jamie, how much did you get those for?
Those were $23 a piece on eBay.
So yeah, we go as cheap as humanly possible. Just some more pictures of our setup.
Yep.
Yes, I am using champagne glasses for our liners. They just came right out of my cupboard, and that was it. Just some more pictures of our setup. The important thing to note on here is the catalogs and the Blitz cards. Oh, we have the mirrors on there too. The mirrors, I think, were $1.25 at Walmart. We each have 3, so you basically put them together. The Blitz cards and the catalogs here are really key because you can tell that we're going to have a lot of dead spots if we didn't have them there. So wherever we have dead spots, we put catalogs. We put Blitz cards. We put contact cards. There's a sheet of contact cards there as well. Part of what we do with our contact cards, Jamie and I do not do any giveaways at booths. I know a lot of people do. What we have personally found is that giveaways are almost like cold calling. They don't remember they put their name in. They don't remember your product. And 90% of the time, we never get an answer back. So what we use our comment cards for is whenever we make a sale, we flat out tell them, hey, would you write your name and number down on this comment card over here? We're going to actually get back with you within 3 days. The reason we do that is for a couple of reasons. One, they're no longer a call because they have product in hand. 2, we've just established good customer service with them. I don't know how many times they've said to us, oh, thank you, yes, that would be wonderful, I'm so glad you do that. They know we're calling, they're expecting we're calling, and they want to talk to us, either with any questions or concerns that they have, or to just flat out exclaim to us how much they love their products. I've actually had some people when I've called them say, I was waiting for your phone call. I want to tell you how much I love this stuff. And by the way, I've got 4 more orders that need to be put in for my friends. So those are going to be key. This last picture here, this is actually a new addition to our booths. We are on our feet a lot. And so we have now put down flooring in our booths. It's just, as you can see, puzzle pieces. It's just great. It fits in. Believe it or not, that's actually one thing with booths that a lot of people don't think of is how much your feet are going to hurt afterwards. Because if you notice in our setups, in all of our setups here, we have actually the floor down on this one as well. In every single one of our setups, we have no chairs to sit on. We never sit during our booths. We always stand. We always keep them engaged because the second you go and sit behind your booth is the second that that customer is just going to walk on by. So let's actually stop this. Just a couple other things. Oh, that's right. So the other thing that I was going to show you guys, I'll wait till my camera kind of zooms back out. All right. So now that you've gotten to the booth, you've gotten to the booth, you've set it all up, customers are starting to come in the door. What do you do? I don't know. I will admit to you, I have a sense of panic every time the first customer comes up. I get butterflies in my stomach. It's really okay. So, take a deep breath. There's a couple things that I want you to do before the booth. One, I want you to work on your 30-second commercial. When I mean a 30-second commercial, it's just introducing the mascara. That's really all it is. Let me grab mine here. Mine is very, very simple. It's nothing that is really scientific. I grab the 2 things of mascara. By the way, don't use the mascara that you actually use because you're going to be pulling the wands in and out a lot, so it actually dries out your mascara. So grab one of your older mascaras. Just make sure it doesn't look goopy or clumpy. And introduce them. Go, let me show you. I want to show you. Tell them about this transplanting gel. Show them the fibers. And when I mean show them, I don't say, go, here, look. We actually grab it and put them on our hands so they can see them. I'll explain these here in a second. And then we tell them about the transplanting gel. Now, before you even get this far, the other thing that we actually do, and this is our other kind of secret, so shh, don't tell anybody. Our bags. We're 31 girls, but inside our bags are tons of samples. They get to dig around in here and pick samples. So they're walking by, and here's what happens. 90% of the time, they're like this. You're looking at the back of their head. So what you do is you go, hi, how are you today? They turn around, they kind of look at you, and they go, I'm okay, how are you? Do you want a free sample? Most of the time, I will admit there have been some times where I've gotten people who are like, no, I don't want a free sample, and it baffles my mind. But most of the time, their eyes get about this big, and they go, oh, what you got? And we let them go digging around in here. We don't just hand them samples. We actually let them go digging around in here for a couple of minutes. While they're digging around, we ask them, have you ever heard of Younique before? Sometimes they say yes. Sometimes they say no. Most of the time, we have either 2 answers that we give. If they say yes, we go, awesome. I bet you've seen it on Facebook. Has anybody ever showed you it in person before? Most of the time, they're going to say no. Because we're on Facebook, most people haven't seen it in person. Grab out mascara, and you show them. If they say no, we go, oh, that's okay. We're a brand new company. We're still getting the word out there for ourselves. Let me show you. Everything leads back to that 30-second commercial. This is what starts it. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen my samples. I have just a little, we call them Lakens. Some people call them little plastic containers. The official term is Lakens. And we have it in a little baggie, a little 2x2 baggie, and we attach it to our cards. Oh, there we go. We do have some QR codes on the back. I'll do another video on that later. But these are what we hand out. So not only have they gotten a sample, they've gotten our card. And then we also, before they walk away, we either hand them a Blitz card as well with their information, or if they've made a purchase, we put it in the bags. And we have, let me grab them, bags that we give out with purchases. We always pre-do our bags, and this one doesn't have one in there because Miss Jamie stole it today for another customer. I'll explain that in a second too. But we also have tips and tricks sheet that we put in each bag as well. So for every sale, we put in a tips and tricks sheet into our bag. We put a Blitz card into our bag, and sometimes we'll even throw in some more samples as well. The customers love being pampered. That's the big thing, is they love being pampered. Now, I'm not telling you to run out and get a 31 bag. However, part of the reason why we use one of these bags, as you can tell, it holds our show mascara, pens and pencils, Blitz cards, samples. So if you find a bag like this, get one. Let me think. What's the other topics that I have on here? We went through the contact cards. Went through the 30-second commercial. Oh, don't talk too much to your customers as well. That's a huge one. Once you tell them your 30-second commercial, don't say anything else. Unless they ask you a question. Let them just kind of soak it in a little bit. Look at the products. If they pick something up, you can kind of explain the product to them. So like if they pick up an eye pigment, I normally tell them it's 100% pigmented, no parabens, no fillers. But I kind of let them touch things. I let them sit there and kind of contemplate it and, for lack of a better term, stew on it with them a little bit. If you start spilling out stuff over them, they start to think you're getting too salesy. I always like to say it's like your husband. You want them to think that they made the decision. Not the other way around. That's my trick with my husband. He is sitting over here, so don't tell him. Let's see, we went over don't be salesy. Oh, upselling. That's one of the other things that we've really been doing recently. So they've just bought a mascara, right? What's one of the things that goes good with our mascara? The Lash Comb. So what I will normally say to them, awesome, let's get you ready with that mascara. Did you want the Lash Comb that goes with that? What's that? Tell me about it. Let me tell you. And then you tell them all the, special things about our Lash Comb, how it's copper cord and metal and stuff like that. One of the other things that Jamie and I do as well, and it's something that we do just about every sale and just about every person, we write on ourselves. You get to do the one thing that mom told you not to do. These are eyeliners, lip liners, and then lip stains. Now, we put them on our hands for a couple of reasons. First one, people like to see the colors. They can see them when they're displayed, but they like to see how the colors look on the skin. The second thing, what's the greatest thing about our liners, our lip stains? They don't move. You have no idea how many times that I have gotten, watch this. Whoa, what's that? That's amazing. Sometimes they'll even grab my hand and they'll actually rub it themselves. And they rub pretty hard, so kind of be prepared for that. But this is an amazing thing, and this is the best way that we found actually shows them that. This is the best way that we have found to upsell, is literally just like this. The other way that we found works really well, one eye done, one eye not done. So you can kind of see, one eye done, one eye not done. Now, it's more about just one eye done, one eye not done. If you notice, my eye makeup as well is not eye-popping. I don't have any smoky eyes. I don't have any cat eyes. I don't have anything that's actually going to take away from the lashes. What I've actually found in booths is that if you put a bright eyeshadow on your eyes, the eyelashes actually don't stand out as much when you do one eye done, one eye not done. So we mute our eyeshadow as well. So a lot of the good colors for that are our cream shadows right now, the Dainty and the Elegant. Obviously Sexy, all those. Really kind of, I don't want to say mute your eyeshadow, but just don't make it so stand out-ish. I actually did bright purple once. I did Regal, and it was really bright. And they could not tell for the life of them. They really had to look close and go, oh yeah, you really couldn't tell behind the black eyeliner and the purple. Oh, but yeah, now I can see it. When I started doing muted eyeshadow, so it just didn't stand out as much, that's when people really started noticing my lashes a lot more. So that's another tip that we've kind of trial by error learned. Let's see. Oh, another one is compliment them. If they're walking past you and it doesn't seem like you're catching their attention, nice shoes. Nice hair. I love your jacket. It will always get their attention. It'll always make me more receptive to you. Oh, thank you. And they'll chat with you. Most of the time, when they just start a normal chat, and I'll go, oh, I'm so silly. Did you want a free sample, by the way? And so it kind of makes it more personable to them. Always have a smile. Always be friendly. Always look like, even if the vendor event is the most boring thing in the world for that day, make it look like you are having the time of your life, because I guarantee you it is going to rub off on the customers. You always want to buy from somebody who is having a good time and has a smile on their face than sitting there scowling and going, So that's the other thing. Younique shirts. Make sure you stand out. Use name tags as well. Jamie has a little bit different one than me. But she has a Love My Lashes shirt. I got mine from Classic Creations. I think she got hers on Amazon.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and the link for our name tags, we'll actually put that in the comments after the video is posted, so you guys can have links for those as well. So, oh, last but not least. Does anybody know what this is? Because honestly, I was thoroughly confused. Scanners.
PayPal.
Phone. Credit card scanner. Take credit cards. It's pretty simple. PayPal here app is what we normally use. You can use Square as well. I know there's quite a few out there. We just tend to use PayPal. We found it's the easiest for us. But you can use whatever you want. Just make sure you have at least some sort of card reader and a phone, a tablet, whichever you choose to take cards. So, have I missed anything, Jamie? That's kind of a lot that I threw at everybody.
I don't think so. Nothing
Awesome.
that I'm aware of.
Do you ladies have any questions at all? Because this is obviously open to questions too. So, any questions at all? Do you have anything to add, Holly?
Am I unmuted?
Yep.
No, that was awesome. I was actually a national trainer for events and booths with the last direct sales company that I was in, and you shared some tips that I didn't even know about. So, and I trained on that for 3 years, so it was most excellent. I loved it. Thank you.
Hey. We have a lot of fun with our booths. We have a good time. We love making friends with the vendors. If there's one thing that you get from a vendor booth, it's make friends with the vendors. They're honestly, some of them are going to be your best customers. Some of them are going to be the people who host the biggest parties for you, and they're going to give you the best tips for the vendor events. Some of them become even my closest friends, honestly. So we have a good time doing them. We enjoy them. So, do you have anything to add, Miss Jimmy?
Nope.
All right.
You pretty much covered it.
Yay! Yeah, that's pretty much it. So if nobody has any other questions, oh, I see that LaDawn, you unmuted. Did you have any questions?
I did. What would you say when you're trying to decide on doing one of the events? Like, what would be like your max distance that you're gonna go, like travel to?
That's actually a really good question. I do think that actually depends on area. I don't know exactly where you're from, but if you go on a map and you look up the Black Hills, any events that I'd actually go to, it looks like I'd travel the entire state for them. But I don't think we've traveled any further than maybe 2 hours away. I think that's about as far as we've gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
last event that I did, it was about 2 hours away. I'm in New Mexico, out in Rio Rancho, and I drove to Farmington.
Okay.
And that was my second best show that I've had. So I just wanted to see like kind of what your opinion was.
Yeah, I think our farthest one away was about 2 hours. Now here, 2 hours can be a little bit different than somewhere else. I know if you go 2 hours in California, you maybe end up like 20 miles away. Here you go 2 hours and you end up possibly across the state. So, but we normally range it, in times. We don't, you don't want to go more than 2 hours, in my opinion. We try to go places where we can be home and back in the same day. I have 3 kids at home, so I obviously don't want to leave them for multiple days at a time because I'm out every weekend. But it really all depends on you. I mean, we've been at vendor events where people have traveled and had to stay the night.
Wow.
So
yeah, I have kids at home too. So
yeah, so for you, 2 hours might be kind of the long and short of it, because it also depends on how early the vendor event is in the morning as well. If we have a vendor event at like 9, 2 hours away, we're gonna have to get up, leave at least by 6 o'clock because we're gonna need an hour to set up. So
right, yeah.
Anything that's 2 hours away and at 7 o'clock in the morning, we're like, no.
Good, good.
So-
If I send you a couple of pictures of my tables, would you tell me if they look too cluttered?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And you guys can send me any messages that you want about, booths or anything like that, or tips and tricks or whatever. I mean, I'm open. I love talking about booths. Holly's kind of the online queen, and I kind of like the booths more. I'll be honest with you, she's working with me on the online stuff. So,
Okay, thank
have
you.
any other questions?
No, I don't think so.
Awesome. Awesome. So if that's the case, then I guess we'll kind of call the team meeting to a close tonight. So, and I'll post the link for the name tags. Possibly, I think Jamie, you can post a couple for shirts and stuff like that as well in the comments.
Yep.
So
I
that way
can
you
do
guys
that.
have some areas. Oh, we'll also post a link to where we get our
The
stuff.
Laycons.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll post a link to that as well. We get them pretty cheap, and then we can get our purple bags. We'll post a link for that as well. So that way you guys have this all, and then we'll file it all away. So have a good night, ladies. So we'll see you guys later.
Thank you.